Okay, so you're that soccer parent, huh? The one who knows the youth soccer world inside and out. Well, buckle up because today we're diving into youth soccer representation. We're talking agents, contracts, and get this, families taking charge. Expert speaker, we talking like drafting contracts at the kitchen table now?
W- Well, not quite at the kitchen table, but it's definitely about empowerment. More families want control, transparency in their young players' careers.
Makes sense, right? You don't just hand your kid's future over to someone else. But let's be real, this is the big leagues. Can families really navigate this world, like, effectively?
It's a question we're seeing more and more, and honestly, yes, it can be done. We're seeing a real shift. Even Jurgen Klopp, the Liverpool manager, he gets it. He reached out directly to Kylian Mbappe's father,
Yeah.
and his father was his agent.
Whoa, Klopp went straight to Mbappe's dad. Okay, that's huge. It
Yeah.
really shows how these power dynamics, they're changing.
Absolutely, and it's not just at the tippy top either. Families at all levels. They're realizing they can be powerful advocates. Think about Nicholas Anelka. His brothers negotiated a massive transfer, 23 million pounds to Real Madrid.
Okay, 23 million, now you're talking. But I have to imagine that's, well, not exactly typical, is it?
Of course, not every deal is going to be record-breaking. But families like the Mbappes, the Anelkas, they show what dedicated family involvement can really do.
So while we're all dreaming of those numbers, what's the realistic picture for families just starting out? It's their kids, their futures, a lot of pressure.
Absolutely, and that's where really understanding the financial side is key. Take Neymar, for example. His father's represented him throughout his career, and he's earned an estimated 100 million pounds just in commissions.
Okay, now that's life-changing money. But Neymar, I'm guessing that's got to be unique.
Yeah.
What about someone like Messi? Practically soccer royalty at this point. Surely his dad wasn't negotiating his contracts at breakfast.
Not quite breakfast, no. But you're right, Lionel Messi's father, Jorge, he's been there, guiding his career and reportedly negotiating deals worth, well, about a £500,000 per week.
Per week. Okay, maybe my kids need to get into soccer. But seriously, those numbers are mind-blowing. But not every young player will be Messi or Neymar.
Exactly. And that's where the focus needs to shift from the blockbuster deals to something even more crucial,
Yeah.
especially for everyone listening who's just starting out, and that is player development.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in those big deals, but you're right, it all starts with development. So how can families make a real difference early on, when those big contracts, they're still a way off?
It's about being present, being engaged, and being proactive, finding the right academies, understanding how these youth programs work, making connections, even if you don't have some big shot agent making calls for you. That's where family can be so valuable.
So you're that constant support, that guide.
Yeah.
Especially in the youth soccer world, it's like its own little universe, right?
It really is. And there are some great examples of it too. Look at Jude Bellingham, right? Joined Real Madrid at just 20.
Wow, 20 years old.
And his parents, they were right there with him from Birmingham City all the way to that massive transfer, 113 million euros.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That just shows you what the right support system can do.
Absolutely. And let's not forget Kylian Mbappe either. His father, Wilfried, he's been so important, not even just with those huge deals, but Kylian's growth on and off the field.
It's that holistic approach, right?
Exactly.
It seems like families can provide that grounded perspective, that focus on the big picture instead of just chasing the next contract.
It's about those tough conversations. Will this move actually give you playing time? Is this the right training? Does this club actually share your values? Those are the questions any good agent should ask, but families. They often have that deeper understanding, that knowledge of their players' dreams, their anxieties.
It's all those carpools to practice, those late-night pep talks, celebrating every goal along the way.
You get it. It's unique. You're not just an agent. You're an advocate. You're a protector. And often, you're a voice of reason.
And speaking of voice of reason,
Yeah.
contracts, let's be honest, they're intimidating. I mean, even for lawyers. Do I need a law degree to figure this world out?
Well, it couldn't hurt, but no, it's not a prerequisite. The key is knowledge. There are so many resources out there. Courses on soccer contracts, on transfer regulations, agent regulations, you name it. You can learn the ropes.
So I can actually understand those contracts,
Yeah.
not just, nod along and pretend like I know what I'm looking at.
You got it. And that's where the empowerment comes in. When you understand the business side, you're more confident asking the tough questions, making sure your player's getting a fair deal.
Okay, I am taking notes. But what about those of us who maybe don't have the time or the desire to be a contract expert? What are the options there?
Totally. Lots of families, they partner up with licensed agents. But they keep the oversight. It's a team effort. The agent handles the legal stuff, and you, with your understanding of the player, you provide direction, make sure their best interests are taken care of.
The best of both worlds, right? Expertise and control. But we've all heard the stories. The demanding parents, the outrageous perks. How do you avoid becoming that parent, the one everybody's afraid to deal with?
It goes back to clear communication, realistic expectations, and remembering this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about long-term development, not short-term gains.
Less, I want it all now, and more, let's build a future kind of thing.
Exactly. It's a partnership. The player feels heard, they feel valued, but they understand this is a business. Tough decisions have to be made.
It's finding that balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
But even in the best families, disagreements happen, especially when the stakes are high. How do you handle those inevitable bumps in the road?
That's where open and honest dialogue, it's absolutely crucial. You have to create a space where the player feels safe being honest about their dreams, their concerns, everything.
Yeah, you always hear communication is key, but like, what does that actually look like? You have a teenager who might be getting scouted, thinking about contracts, maybe even a little ego boost in there. That's a lot.
It's not easy, that's for sure. It's about really creating a space where they feel like they can be honest, about their hopes for the future or what makes them nervous, a place they know they've got your support, but also a realistic look at what's ahead.
So less saying yes to every opportunity and more about teaching them to figure out what's right for them.
Exactly. Giving them the tools to make those tough calls, even if it means, turning down something big because it's not the right fit for them for their development.
That takes a lot of maturity, not just for the player, but the whole family, to see that bigger picture.
It really does. And that's where having that strong family bond, that trust and understanding, it makes all the difference. Because when those bumps in the road come, and they will, you can work through it together.
You're a united front, even when it gets tough.
Exactly. And remembering, too, this journey, it's about more than just contracts and big transfers, right? It's about that love of the game, becoming well-rounded people. It's about those positive experiences that'll last a lifetime.
I feel like we've all learned so much today, expert speaker. From those massive contracts to that early guidance and how families make it all work. If our listeners are taking away one thing today, what would it be?
Knowledge is power, honestly. The more you know about this World Youth Soccer, the contracts, the rules, the paths to success, the better you can support your player and help them reach their goals on and off the field.
Knowledge is power. And remember, it's not just about making a superstar, right? It's about supporting their passion, helping them navigate this world.
It's exciting, yeah, but it's challenging. It's unpredictable.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, we'll see you all next time for another deep dive into a world just waiting to be explored. Keep those questions coming, keep those dreams alive, and we'll catch you on the flip side.